So I am Dr. Katie Nordhus, and I am the staff veterinarian at Vet Animal Health. I've been a veterinarian for 21-ish years. My roles have changed throughout those years, but it's been 20-ish years since I graduated. There are so many things that inspired me to be a veterinarian. We had really good friends who owned a dairy, and their oldest daughter, her name is Susan. She was in veterinary school when I was a little girl, and I always looked up to her and how she handled animals. It was just very inspiring. Another thing is we had a hobby farm growing up, and dogs and cats and horses and everything. And so when I would see them get injured or my dogs would injure a wild animal, I would always be moved with compassion to want to heal them. Also, I love science and I love math and I love just the natural world in general. And so this profession is really what fit all parts of me, I guess. There are so many important parts. So, of course, the healing arts are so important, and healing those animals and healing even livestock, being able to provide a way for producers to continue with their production. But just healing the animals, obviously, is so important. But there's an aspect, the human-animal bond is so beautiful that cultivating that is really an honor a lot of times. So veterinarians are so important in animal health overall. So in the companion animal realm, to really educate owners on preventative medicine, such as vaccines and things like that. But nurturing that human-animal bond is absolutely so important. Something I didn't really take into account during vet school. You get so focused on learning the diseases that once you're out, you really realize what a beautiful aspect that is. So really nurturing that human-animal bond is important. In the ag, large animal food production side, it is so important that veterinarians work hand in hand with producers to be able to maximize the health in their herds, to be able to maximize gains, decrease disease, and ultimately maximize their bottom line. Bringing money home for their family is a huge part of why we do what we do. I think veterinarians have a huge opportunity to make an impact beyond animal care. And one of my favorite parts of being a veterinarian is that educating owners and educating producers. Our main goal as veterinarians is for the betterment of the animal health, but also to nurture that bond. Again, I keep going back to that human-animal bond, but it is so important. Animals don't bring themselves to the vet clinic. They have an owner that brings them or a producer that brings them. And it's our job as veterinarians to bridge that gap, I think, to be an advocate for the animal, but also a trusted voice in how best to treat that animal. And even more so in the ag side, where if a producer wants to have you look over their vaccine protocol or their deworming protocol or just ways to maximize their production, that we have as veterinarians is vast, and how we can influence animal health in general. When I was in clinical practice, I would have young kids come shadow me for a day and truly see what it was like to be a veterinarian. And those kids, like showing the future generations of the world proper animal husbandry, perhaps even cultivating their desire to be a veterinarian one day. But yeah, there's so many ways. I have a lot of advice. My advice is work hard. Of course, work very hard, but don't forget to take a breath and live life as best you can. Veterinary school is your life for those 4 years, but make human connections and just take a breath and try to process, because life is too short to get lost in the thick of it. Try to look and see the big picture. Be passionate about what you do. Advocate for pets. Advocate for production animals. But don't lose yourself in the process, I guess. Because again, It is what you do, and you're amazing at. You will be amazing at it, but is not a measure of your value as a human.